Hello and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. This week is all about tools to get out of control. Now, I know for some of you, you might have stopped listening already. You might have said, no, I need to be in control, Glenyce. You don't understand. Stop talking. I get it. I totally get it, my sweet friends. Control has been controlling me since before I can remember. And this is kind of the first piece with control. Whoever we're trying to control has control over us. Shall I repeat that? Whoever or whatever we're trying to control has control over us. I know this is such a mindfuck of what we've actually been taught. At least what I was taught somewhere along the way. Somehow I was taught that the more control I had, the more in control I was, the better my life would be, the better everything around me would be, the happier everyone around me would be, the happier I would be. I'm here to tell you, although I probably don't have to, it's the exact opposite. The more out of control I allow myself to be, the more ease, the more magic, the more space, the more of everything that I'm asking for. So, interesting story. If you watch my weekly videos, you might remember fairly recently, I actually talked about feeling like a success and setting myself up in different choices I was making so that I felt like I was a success. So, for example, choosing to watch the scale, let's say, from a place of being a success isn't probably the best choice because I can't control the scale. However, I can control, let's say the marker instead is how many times I go for a walk or how many times I do my workout videos or something like that. Because that I do have control over. The scale, I have no control over her. So I talked to and shared a video about that and about really setting yourself up for success if that's something you require. I've come to realize in the past few years how much that actually contributes to my life. If I feel like I'm successful with something, I'm going to continue to choose it and it's going to be light and yummy and expansive in terms of choosing it. However, what I recognized yesterday, so hubby and I are doing a class in stained glass. Now, if you've never done this, I recommend it. I actually am enjoying it now. I'm enjoying the class now. Why now? Because I feel successful. So yesterday was our second class. And the first class, the first hour was basically how to do the things, some practice. The second hour was getting started on the project that we had chose. And in that second hour, I wasn't getting very far. Things weren't fitting together. So the project that I chose was maybe a little bit more difficult than what I could have chose. And anyway, it wasn't fitting and I left there frustrated. In fact, I even had the thought, maybe when I arrive for the second class, I'm actually going to change my piece because that is just, I'm not feeling successful. So yesterday we go in and I was ready to try it anyway, see how I went. And it was working and it started to work really, really well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling successful. This is so good. Okay, and as soon as I have that success, there's that lightness and I want to do more of it and I want to continue choosing it. And I had a lot of space in those hours. Abby and I went in early, so I had extra time. I had a lot of space in there just to be present with what I was working on, but also things going on in my world. And I started looking at that. I started really looking at that need to feel successful. Guess what? It's control. Damn it, it's control. Even when I think I'm not doing control, Sometimes I'm doing control. And it was just this, oh my God, energy of like, wow, I didn't even realize that that's what I was doing. Because when the pieces, the stained glass pieces are fitting together, I'm in control. It's working. I'm moving forward. If they're not fitting together, I don't have any control. I can ask for help, I can change my pattern, I can do all sorts of things, but I'm not ultimately in that control energy that I didn't even recognize it was. So then I was like, okay, what if though that success, that basically is just a need for control, what if that isn't actually creating the future I desire? Now, I don't mean that I should set myself up for not succeeding. It was just this huge awareness of how much I'm still controlling, and that I had really basically right down to the bare bones judged if something was going my way, that was right. And if it wasn't, yeah, you guessed, it was wrong. Such a different way of really being present with it and really going, wow, what if the pieces not fitting together actually gives me more awareness of how to use the tools? And that's ultimately, I mean, when it wasn't working the first week, and then yesterday, what was so interesting, and it was working much better, but still there was some clunks. There was a lady that went up to so we grind the pieces, so you cut them and then you grind them to really fit. And I kept using the same grinder. Possibly another control, another thing of that energy. And then a lady went and used it. And as I turned to go, she was at it. I was a little bit annoyed because it's 2 steps from where I'm working. The other one that I went to, because all the other ones over there were busy, was, 20 steps the other way. Like, oh my gosh, how did I manage? Wow. Anyway, so went to the other one. Well, that machine, that grinder, whatever it is, I'm not even sure how the grinders work. It's whatever is way better. So it grinds it so much better, so much quicker. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, in my conclusion of this isn't working, I picked too hard of a pattern. There was no question. There was not even a question of which grinder to use. It was like, well, this one's 2 steps. I mean, it wasn't even that thought. It was just right there. That's the one I used until she used it. And then I went and used the other one. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be using this one forever. Not a question, my friends. So it was just this huge awareness of all the places and spaces of control. And of course, I'm not doing just in stained glass. I'd love to tell you that was it, but I promise you, I'm doing it in that class. I'm doing it in lots of different areas of my life. So in those few hours yesterday, I was really looking at, okay, so where have I decided that I need that success? And what if I didn't? Like, what is the not success actually gifting me? Whew. There's an energy for you, my sweet friends. So right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pot, pock, shorts, boys, me on. So that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you're not familiar, you can go to theclearingstatement.com for more information about how it works. But basically all of that energy that comes up when I talk about something like this, when I run it, it clears it. It starts to dissipate it so that we have more space and we have more awareness. And that's ultimately what we're always looking for, is more space and more awareness. So looking at that with every area of my life, it was really magical. Because what is it gifting me? What is it not working? What is, in Access, we ask the question, what's right about this I'm not getting? In that case, if I would have maybe done that in the first class, maybe I would have found that other grinder sooner or changed something else or whatever. Now, again, it's still not wrong the way I did it. It gave me this beautiful awareness of all the control I'm still doing. I mean, truly, what a gift that is. So the clearing that I want to run a few times, it is so magical. It is so changing everything control related. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can us and our bodies be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearities, and out of concentricities for all eternity. Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pot, pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now that clearing truly has changed so much for me. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I actually started using it, like truly started using it. I actually did a call on it. We'll put a link because of course you can purchase the recordings. But it wasn't until then that I actually finally memorized all those words. I didn't have them all memorized, even though I'd probably repeated that clearing thousands of times over my years as a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. Yeah, I finally really chose to change the control stuff, which I totally did. And obviously there's still some more, which again, I'm so grateful for, that we can really not go to the judgment, not, oh my gosh, I thought I changed that. What's wrong with me? It's not that at all, guys. We just go, wow, okay, cool. There's still some more. Chances are this control thing, at least for me, I don't want to speak for you, but at least for me, it's going to be a long, long time, my sweet friends. And that's okay. It's not right. It's not wrong. The other thing that I want to say about control is for you to really recognize that control is not wrong. Okay? Control is actually a capacity. It's just that we're often using it against us and not for us. So we want to start choosing control when it'll create greater, not when it will create less, which is really with that whole success piece that I was looking at, that's when it creates less. When I go, okay, well, I'm not succeeding, I need to succeed in order to continue, that's a huge limitation. I mean, how many possibilities, how many experiences have I not chosen, not stepped into because I wasn't feeling like a success? How many times have I stopped because I wasn't feeling like a success, which then all of my decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, rejections, expectations, separations, refined judgments that I have about all of that ignite, and then I stop. Oh my gosh. I feel exhausted just talking about that. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pot, pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, I would love to invite you. We are doing a book club on the Projection, Expectation, Separation, Rejections, and Judgments book by Gary Douglas from Access Consciousness. We start, I believe it's March 8th or something like that. You'll find the link below or above. If you can't find it, reach out. We'll get it to you. It's going to be amazing, my sweet friends. That book and all of those, what I call the DJCCs, Pissers, and RJs, all of those are what really limit us and really stop what's possible. So the more that you're willing to let this go, which will also assist you in letting go of control, that's where the magic is. So check that out for more information, depending, of course, when you're watching this. It's always available for purchase after also. The other thing that I would love to invite you to is the Hideously Successful Clearing. We are going to be running it starting March 2nd, 30 times a day for 30 days. Yeah, it's time to change that crazy. It's time to be willing to be hideously successful, which of course also out of control. Yes, not hideously successful while controlling everything. Let's change it all, my sweet friends. Let's change it all. So you'll find the links above or below, wherever. One more thing. I also have available for you, for a gift for you, is the magical money tricks. I've got a video of 10 of them. I've got a PDF of 5 questions. I also have wallpaper for your phone of the number one question that I think everybody should be asking all day long about money. So if you would like that, you'll find the link above or below. You can go grab it. My gift to you, my sweet friends. So back to control. What I want to talk about with that is, what is out of control? It is having no point of view about anything. So there's not much there, really. That's not going to take any work at all. Not work, just choice. So really, if you look at that, having no point of view. So go back to my example of the stained glass and the glass pieces not fitting together in my first week at all. Like at all. if I didn't have a point of view, wow, how much more space is there with that? How much more ease is there with that? How many more questions could I ask, either of the instructors or of the machines or of myself or of the project? A lot. Yeah, totally. I've got all this space now to have I've got all the space. I have no point of view, which means I have total space, which means I have total awareness, which means everything is possible. But when I'm looking through the lens of this isn't working, it should be working. That's basically when we think this isn't working, the other energy is it should be working. And now the energy's contracted. Now there's no space. There's no other possibilities. There's just my choice for frustration and all the other ideas of maybe I'll change my pattern, I'll do something else, I'm not feeling successful, blah, 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 blah. Everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. The other thing, when you are out of control, no one and nothing can control you. Not even you. So if you have no point of view about anything, nobody can control you. So right now here in Canada, now depends when you're listening to this, because I'm recording a little bit earlier. I've got a certified facilitator training coming up in the next few days, so I'm about a week and a half earlier than I normally record. But right now here in Canada, there's truckers all over, especially in Ottawa, in Alberta, Ottawa, Ontario, and also in Alberta, and who knows where else. Really, really, really getting stronger and stronger in their demand to stop the mandates. Now, for me, I know the greatest gift I can be is to have no point of view. This is not necessarily the most ease to choose when there's so much right and there's so much wrong. There's so much proof of what's right and there's so much proof of what's wrong. There's so many, media outlets saying, here's what's going on. And then there's so many other media outlets going, here's what's going on. And it's just, there's so much of that. There's so many ways to be invited into right and wrong and good and bad. And I know the greatest gift I can be is to have no point of view. I have a preference, I have an awareness, but when I join that it's right or I join that it's wrong, that's where I stop being magical. And that really is the space of being out of control. If you're out of control, you can be that space, you can be that magic. You're still going to be aware. You're not shutting your awareness off. You're just not controlled anymore. And this is the funny thing. The control, when you are controlled, when you do have a point of view, you don't have the access to the awareness that's actually there. So that actually is what limits you rather than the opposite of what we think it is. Oh my goodness. So everything, all of that just brought up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. If you are looking to get out of control, couple things. Maybe you're like me and you weren't even aware you were doing it. You could start asking, and this is my new ask, universe, show me where I am doing control so that I can get reminded all day long, and then I have a choice. Once I'm aware I'm choosing it, then I can check in. Hey, does this create the future I desire or decay the future I desire? If it's creating it, I can continue. If it's not, I can let it go. Yeah. So that's, I would say, step number 1, if we're going to do them in steps. 2, run that clearing all the time. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can me and my body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearities, out of concentricities for all eternity. Anything that doesn't allow that, I destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. And then another question that I have been using and will continue to use, if I was willing to be out of control here, what magic could I create? So you can look at your money situation, you can look at your body situation, you can look at your stained glass project and ask that. You can look at anything and ask that question. And you're not looking for an answer. In case you're not familiar, we're not asking that so we can figure it out. We're asking that so we are allowing the awareness, the possibilities, the magic, the universe, all of it to show up, to contribute to us being the magic that we truly be. Because guys, I promise you, the more out of control that you're willing to be, the more magic you will be. The more magic you'll create. The more ease your life will be, the more magical your life will be. Yeah, so anything that doesn't allow that way to store and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. For anybody who doesn't know, if you would like the show notes, make sure you are on my email list. They come out every Sunday with the radio show. You can access them right in that email. Just go straight. It'll just says download the show notes, I think, or something like that, and you can receive them. If you're listening to this, you're not on my list yet, and you go and get on it and you would like these, then just send me an email or send me a message, reach out on social media, and we will send this week's show to you. We'll send you that email so you can grab that Dropbox account, because by the time this email goes out, this show is yeah, do you know what I mean? The email will have gone out with this show. So if you're listening to it, that won't be the email you get, but we can get it to you so that you can access all of this. It's basically a transcript. Almost everything, not the ums and the ahs, but everything else, hopefully, is in that. And I mean, hopefully my ums and ahs are taken out, but everything else is in there. So the clearings that I run, the information that I give, I know a lot of people prefer to read rather than listen or watch. Whatever your preference, baby, we got you covered. So, one more time for fun. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearity, and out of concentricities for all eternity? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So some tools to play with to really get out of control, my sweet friends. I wonder what magic would be possible if we were willing to be out of control. I wonder what magic we could create on the planet. Yeah, I truly wonder, my sweet friends. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, and I look forward to chatting again next week.